Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day. Um, Give me one quick second. Okay. All right, all right. We got a really strong push on JDST at the moment, so it's pretty much what I've been watching. Also with TNDM, I had a really nice push up to almost highs of $36. I think it's super overextended, and that's why I locked in profits. I had a really strong push. I'll show you guys like my sell. I had a limit sell at 35.29, locked in total profits, $285 on the day. I'm going to be waiting for a pullback. So now what I really like is that /GC is showing signs of a sell-off. It's trying to almost find a support right now. So I think JDST, although it did have a really nice push up, it's going to pull back before it continues to push up on top of that. So let me see this. Looks like I was really late to the game when it came down to JDST. I was setting up the live stream, so I missed out on that. But it's been about 9 minutes since the market has opened. What's up, what's up, what's up? Hope you guys are all having a great day. Natural gas from this huge push up that it had, it's having like this like kind of sell off. It's trying to recover, so like you guys is trying to like break above that middle VWAP, and that's exactly what I'm waiting for. If natural gas can do this and have a really strong push up and then pull back and continue to uptrend, then again it hit highs of almost $97 yesterday, right, during extended hours. $97. Look at the margin, right, that it has to cover, nearly 5%, and that's 5% like waiting after it happens. So I'm going to be extremely patient. 5% can be half of my weekly goal, right? So with that understanding, I need to be very selective and very patient. TNDM is really pushing up, and I know this is very hard for some people, and trust me, it's very hard for me, but to not enter as it's reaching a price that's so overextended. Like, yes, it's pushing up. It's been so volatile lately. I mean, I want this thing to reverse just as bad as, you know, many of you guys do, and it's trying to show signs of a reversal. But again, it's riding below the EMA line, and how important it is to make sure that you understand that it's been making lower lows and it's been getting rejected nonstop. Yes, it can happen, and yes, it can push up, but why not just wait for confirmation, right? Why not just wait for the overall direction to change? So I made a video at about 4 a.m. I had a really tough time sleeping last night, so I just decided to go live. And I made a video, you know, talking about the top stocks that, you know, everyone shared a bunch of different stocks, and I felt like too many people were so focused on trying to like predict the reversal for a lot of the stocks that were being a lot of the stocks that were being shared with me. So what I wanted to, you know, do was just focus on whatever was actively trending up. And that's why I did that breakdown. I talked about a couple stocks that I thought, in my eyes, were showing signs of an uptrend within the past couple of days. So I'm just going to talk about those very quickly and see if I could actually see or wait for a pullback. I talked about the push that /GC was showing, the pullback, right? And then how that was in favor of JDST, right? And then I talked about the push that natural gas was showing and how that would have been in favor of you guys. But obviously with that pullback, it defeats the purpose. I talked about TNDM and why it's so important to wait for the reversal and to always lock in profits just due to the very aggressive pullback. Like, this thing almost always pulls back to the bottom VWAP. And that's something that I find very unattractive, very dangerous, very risky about TNDM. So just as much money as you want to make with this stock, you know, you have to be that selective that, you know, you understand that it can pull back just as quick. And then we talked about SQQQ on the 5-day, 5-minute chart. It was showing signs of an uptrend. It looks like today might be the day that it's breaking its pattern, and if it is, great. That might be in favor of TQQQ. As that one then was probably showing signs of an uptrend. So just keep a very close eye and keep a very close eye that the direction doesn't change. The MACD is showing signs of a potential reversal, so I would like to follow up with it and see what actually happens. Also, we saw a lot of consolidation within the past 5-day, 5 minutes. You know, it's been making lower lows, but yesterday kind of consolidated. Today, it looks like it's, you know, pushing above this SMA line that was acting as a previous resistance. And why do we care about Microsoft? Well, on this 180-day chart and this ascending uptrend pattern, look at this. It's still too early, and it pushed up and it got rejected by that EMA line, but the potential margin that it has for, for recovery, for maybe a potential short-term swing trade. A lot of you guys were telling me, Ricky, I want to get down to the basics. I want to get down to like what got me, so attracted to, your style of trading, which is swing trading. But the reason that I said that I've been so selective with swing trading is because, the market has been very volatile. It's as simple as that, right? It's been very volatile. It's been very inconsistent. And because of that, I have not felt comfortable to swing trade. But I found a pattern on Microsoft that I would feel a little bit more comfortable to swing trade. It just means that my position size might be a little bit less, but the overall confirmation just isn't there for me right now. So that's why I went out of my way to try to, plan out this trade. I'm going to set my alerts. I'm going to follow up with it. I like the MACD. I like the RSI. I just need a little bit more confirmation to give me an understanding that, hey, this thing is going to be pushing up. So that's pretty much all I'm waiting for as of right now. Let's check this out. Okay, so it looks like you guys got rejected by that middle view up. So looking at /, let's see, /NG. Okay, so as long as this thing starts to make higher highs, I think that's what's important. Perfect. TNDM just broke below. It looks like it's selling off now. Peaked out at highs of, what is this? I just want to calculate how much I missed out on. I sold at 35.29 and it hit highs of, I missed out on 1.5%. Again, you never know exactly how high it's going to go. So that's why, again, I just based off previous patterns of yesterday's highs. It was trading at 35.39, and when I saw that it was at 35.30, set a limit order, lock in profits, walked away happy. And yeah, I mean, the MACD is still showing signs of a descending pattern. So yes, just as much as it could bounce right now, it could break below the MACD. So something that we want to take into consideration. One thing that I would watch a little bit closer is how aggressive and the volatility that it would show within most recent patterns, not just on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, but yeah, look, just like that sell off, the bid just fell off 34.88, and it will not surprise me if this thing touches the bottom VWAP at $34. So I'm just gonna set my alerts. I think that this thing can aggressively sell off, and I just don't know if it's something that people are gonna want to pay attention to. Or want to focus on today. It's a descending pattern. It's extremely risky, and if you've been struggling to stay green, then this probably isn't going to be the best ticker for you. Looks like we're getting some consolidation, right, on you guys above the EMA line. That's good. Now we're just waiting for a break above 92. See if we can get that reversal of the MACD and the RSI for that thing to start pointing up. There it goes. Can we get a bounce off this SMA line? Is that what's going to happen? Let's find out. LABD, a lot of consolidation. JNUG just broke below. That means JDST is making higher highs. There we go. /GC, how we looking? Yeah, it looks like it's definitely making lower lows, and it's showing signs like, does this make sense to you? Like, okay, like I want to make sure that it makes sense to everybody. Like if everyone has covered that ETF section in the course, right? Like you guys understand why I'm paying attention to, JDST, correct? Like why I thought JDST was going to go up. That makes sense to everybody, right? So again, looking at /GC, I was able to analyze that it was trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, right? Middle and bottom VWAP showing signs of a descending pattern, and it just had an aggressive sell-off. And again, they don't correlate exactly with one another, but as you guys can see, look at this strong sell-off that it just had. And with that strong sell-off, we get a really strong push on JDST. And the reason that I have not entered on a position on JDST is I think that /GC is just a little bit too oversold. So do you see this pattern where it sells off, it rides this bottom VWAP, and then it pushes up, it tries to recover, and then gets rejected, right, by this middle VWAP. Bottom and middle VWAP, that's the support and resistance with this descending pattern. Here we go, TNDM trying to recover. But that's why, so because of this aggressive sell-off, I think that now it can try to recover. It's selling off very aggressively right now, so I'm sure that I can take a very short-term swing trade and try to make the most out of that. But we'll have to see how it plays out. So missing out on the TNDM reversal. I still think TNDM is going to make higher lows or lower highs. So I still think it's going to sell back off. The MACD just isn't there, and I think it needs it. That's what it did yesterday. It peaked out, pulled back, peaked out, pulled back, and then it, after time it tried to recover, got rejected, and it still sold off. So I like giving TNDM a lot of time for it to really consolidate. I've learned my lesson on when trading it, at least for the past couple of weeks, how patient I do have to be with this. So let's check this out. So I see a couple people talking about Tesla because of how oversold it is. So looking at the 180-day analysis, it makes sense, right? Looking at, the overall lows. When it comes down to technicals, yes, it's consolidating. So if we're talking about the 3 stages of a reversal, rejection, consolidation, the MACD, the RSI, all that looks good. We're still trending below the EMA line. So if we're still sticking to those very basics, then that wouldn't make much sense. Elon has just been under fire, so much when it comes down to news and just negative catalysts, right? This is not normal for a stock to, especially for such a large multi-billion-dollar company, to be down to lows of 260, which are 52-week lows, pushes up right back to 320, sells right back off, the next day, and then recovers the following day, and then sells right back off. Do you get that? That volatility is not. And that's what's sketching me out about a lot of these potential swing trades. It's why I feel so unmotivated to swing trade and hold these positions. That's why I've been trying to emphasize more than ever before to lock in profits and to be even more selective than ever before in entering these positions, because they're doing certain things that they don't normally do. And there goes TNDM making lower lows. So it got rejected, and it looks like it's selling back off. So regardless of what the case may be, that was a strong little 2%. So congrats if you're able to buy the dip on that. Nope, it's just a matter of preference. So let's see. All right, yeah, there's a good amount of people that also were talking about BABA because of how oversold it was. No indication of a reversal, right? Super oversold. Nothing, just a descending pattern, making lower lows, and it's just not something that I find attractive. There was a lot of these, companies. Another company that people brought up was ticker symbol Pool, one of the largest conglomerates or corporations when it comes down to pool supplies and stuff like that. So also had an up and coming earnings. Usually they do pretty good with their earnings, and looking at their previous earnings, that those tend to act as positive catalysts. So that might be something that we might have to wait out for. Yes, it's very oversold. It offers a potential good deal, but its overall direction, I just don't want to invest in anything that's descending, right? And there's nothing wrong with that if I want to be that selective, right? So it looks like UGAZ is showing signs of a potential downtrend as of right now. It looks like it got rejected by that middle VWAP. Where's JDST at? JDST with a super strong push up. That's super impressive. CSIQ just broke above 1444. That's what my alert just said. SQQQ looks like it pushed up above the middle VWAP, got rejected by the SMA line, and then it might be making higher lows, right? Let's check this out. So we're definitely getting a lot of consolidation with TNDM again, but I want to be a little bit more patient. Microsoft with a really strong push up. I like it. Let's check this out. Again, it's just, this isn't the best deal that I can get. If I really wanted to focus on a day trade, even buying it at the SMA line, I could try to justify that, but again, I still felt like it was a little bit too early. And regardless if it pushed up or not, regardless if I was wrong or not, I didn't feel comfortable. And you guys should not invest in what you don't feel comfortable in. So right now with JDST and this ascending uptrend pattern, I'm going to keep a close eye on /GC. It's trying to show signs of a recovery. If it breaks above the EMA line, which wouldn't surprise me. Forward slash you see breaking above the, the MACD showing signs of a nice recovery. So is the RSI. This might mean that, again, this thing will try to recover, get rejected by the middle view up, and then that will offer a better entry opportunity if it continues to sell off for me to enter JDST. Does that make sense? AMD looking like a snack. Tyler, the way that you word that is freaking hilarious. 180-day analysis, you guys cracked me up. I wish all of you guys were awake at 4 a.m. Just kidding. You guys, I hope that you guys got some sleep. But yeah, we have an overall support here around $26. A lot of consolidation happening. So I would still say as a day trade, yes, that would make sense. As a swing trade, it just wouldn't make much sense to me. Just please take into consideration previous highs of yesterday, which was around 27.40. That's why I don't find this to be such a good deal. So if, yeah, you want to trade it, all power to you. I just don't find it to be a good deal as of right now, especially as it's been making lower lows. PSTG. PSTG. This is also another one that was shouted out in the shouted out in that video that I made in the comment section. It was showing signs of a ascending uptrend pattern, showed a very consistent uptrend. Obviously showed signs of it being very oversold, but no indication of a reversal. I've set a couple of alerts, and I can set a couple more just to be a little bit more up to date with it, but it's been making lower lows. I don't find that to be attractive, and if you want to day trade it, then all power to you. But would I hold something that's been making lower lows? Definitely not, right? And right now it looks like it sold off all day yesterday from the middle and bottom view up. Also take into consideration recent direction. So I think keeping a very close eye on the 5-day, 5-minute chart if you want to understand with more relevant direction what's been actively trending up and what has not. You could see that it's been selling off, been making lower lows, and this wouldn't make sense for me to invest in something like this, right? It's showing signs of a descending pattern and making lower lows, and I don't want my account to depreciate in value. So yeah, it looks like JDST had a nice little sell-off. Let's check it out, /GC. There we go. Just like we thought, nice little push up. Perfect. There we go. /GC, selling off, showing signs of a descending pattern. DGAS, most likely going to be the one trending up on the day. And there we go. Nice little push up. Again, a little bit on the overbought side. I like the ascending uptrend pattern, but I also like focusing on getting something in for a good deal. And this just wouldn't necessarily meet that criteria as of right now. But it's definitely, what I like about this is now we know the direction that it's trying to go today. And it's very clear, right? The middle and top view up. It's trying to recover. Although it's down on the day, it's trying to show signs of a recovery. So I think that's also very important to, take into consideration, and also understand that yesterday did a lot of consolidation around 1430. So if you don't feel comfortable taking a position just yet, then giving it an hour or two until you think that it's fulfilled its direction and that it's continuously making higher highs and lower highs as well. So NIO is definitely one. This is a perfect example of what I would stay away from. Perfect example. So I see someone, so stock analysis talking about NIO. This is a perfect example of what I would 100% avoid. Pump and dumps that get manipulated and that are obvious, extremely, coming from $14 just a couple days ago, obviously selling off super aggressive. So this is a recent IPO that happened last month, and it's, again, I'm sure there's some marketing behind it that pushed it up, drove the price up. It's been selling off ever since. I would 100% not invest in this. The volatility, it's just too aggressive, especially if you're just getting started. And if your purpose is to grow your account, I would 100% it just wouldn't make sense to me on why to invest in something like this, especially as it's so overbought. The MACD's pointing down, the RSI is showing that it's overbought. It's just nonsense. There we go, a nice little push up. JDST selling off, just like expected. What's the ticker for Sony, Brian? Ricky, do you speak Spanish? Yeah, I speak fluent Spanish. Am I in any positions right now? No, the only position that I was in was on TNDM that I locked in profits on. So my position wasn't huge. It was about 500 shares and I locked it in. So it's 285. I'm halfway to my daily goal. I want to be extremely selective. Even if I just hit $500 flat, I will be so happy, so blessed, and just walk away for the day. I truly am really struggling. Other than I thought UGAZ was going to be my pick for the day. I swear. I thought UGAZ was going to be like it's going to reverse up. It has a beautiful sign for recovery and it gets rejected. So if it comes down to like me not being able to find something else to take advantage of, I guess I'm going to have to stick with the 285. I mean, it's definitely still, I don't want to minimize that 285 is not a lot of money. I still think it's a great amount of money. But you know, it just would make more sense for me to just focus on not giving any of that back and stuff like that. So oh, SNE. Okay, let's break that down. SNE. Thank you again for asking so politely, Brian. Okay, so setting an uptrend pattern on Sony, we could see that it was pushing above, this SMA line. So overall direction, it's showing signs of an uptrend. Just be aware of when the earnings comes out, right? It's still getting rejected. I think this is a very simple pattern that we've broken down multiple times. It's overall direction. It's not showing signs of an uptrend just yet. It's really in the consolidation phase in my eyes. I have my alert based off previous, breakdowns. So I like the MACD. I like the RSI. It's just it needs to start making higher highs. And when it pulls back, that's when I would focus on maybe for a potential entry. So, yeah. Ooh, /GC. This thing's already trying to. I'm going to take a. Holy moly, that's huge. No. That's still too big. Okay. All right. TNDM popped. Yep, showed signs of consolidation here at the middle view up and popped right back up. Makes sense. Just be aware of this pattern that it happened yesterday, right? And it happens pretty often where it pushes up, sells off, pushes up, tries to recover, and then just the demand isn't there, and then it sells off. Like I wish it was just one day that it's done that, but even if we look at the 5-day, 5-minute chart, again, it tries to hold up and then just sells off, holds up and then just makes lower lows throughout the day, holds up and then just sells off. So again, I hope that the direction changes, but it just hasn't based off previous patterns. Let's see. What's the alert that just went off? Microsoft. There we go. Microsoft still being bullish on the day, so I like that. So could you explain, please, why you took a position on JDST when after market hours it shows signs of a downtrend? So it's not the big picture charts that I'm really paying attention to for JDST. It's the overall direction that /GC has been trading during extended hours. So JDST was showing, or /GC was showing signs of an uptrend, which was in favor of JNUG, right? And then all of a sudden its direction changed when it broke below the middle VWAP and it started trading between the middle and bottom VWAP and making lower lows and lower highs as well. So with that understanding, now that this is showing signs of a downtrend and that it continues to get rejected either by the SMA line or the middle VWAP, then it would make sense on why then if this thing continues to sell off for /GC, why that would be in favor of JDST. As you saw, when it was showing signs of an uptrend, it was JNUG that was trying to push up, but then shortly after, as the reversal, changed, as soon as, during the pre-market hours opened, it made sense on then why that direction changed, right? And then that's why we saw that push, right? So which one's trading in between the middle and top VWAP? It's JDST, right? So I took a position on JDST. It's about a 60% position of what I would normally take. And then once it confirms an uptrend and it starts making higher highs, then I would feel that much more comfortable to add the remaining, $10,000 or 33%, right? I think that makes sense. Of course, thank you for asking so politely as well. Yeah, that's something that you have to reach out to your brokerage about. Not every platform offers the top and bottom line for the VWAP indicator. Another indicator that's kind of similar that you might want to look into is called the Bollinger Bands. It's not one I think I cover in the course, but it's one that I have used before in the past. So something that you could explore, and again, that's called Bollinger Bands. So you can Google it. There's a bunch of videos that, if I'm not mistaken, on YouTube, and see if your brokerage offers that or your software offers that. TSRO, of course. Okay, so TSRO looks like it was showing signs of a very aggressive descending pattern, and then all of a sudden its direction started to change. It's been making higher highs. It's been doing a very good job. What is it? What's one indicator that you see right now, or that you've seen that since its direction has changed, that has acted as a support? I don't think it's very difficult to identify, but what's one indicator that it's been reacting very well with? EMA line, right? So let's make sense of this. And I really want you guys to focus on this. So if the EMA line and the direction and the support that the EMA line is, the reason that we why is it that we see value? There should always be a reason why you see value in something, right? Because it's either a good deal, because it's an ascending uptrend pattern and it continues to bounce off the EMA line, for instance, on this one. So if I originally see value on TSRO because of the support that the EMA line acts as, right? Then it makes sense that if the candles start to trend below the EMA line, the original way on how I saw value on TSRO would no longer be relevant. So if I were to take a position, yes, it would make sense. I would try to buy the dip close to or near to the EMA line and then sell the highs. I think that's very easy to make sense of. But the most important part that a lot of people struggle with is knowing when to cut losses. And that is if it begins to really sell off, not just breaks a little below, but really starts to change its direction and starts to make lower lows. That's something that did not happen this entire time, and that means that you got in at a price point that maybe was a little bit too high and it broke its pattern. It sucks, it happens, and it happens very often. But then that's why you have to be so quick to managing your risk. So also understand, if you see value for a specific reason, that you identify that. So if that initial reason is broken, then that you take action and cutting losses. Make sense? /GC. Yeah, no, I see it. I got the alert. There you go. Nice little push up. It's what we talked about. I mean, it's been trending in between the bottom and middle VWAP, and we talked about that it was going to push up and most likely get rejected. But JDST hasn't moved too much. Again, it's still above the middle VWAP, and I think from my initial position at 77.67 to where it's at right now, I'm down about, what is that, 0.3%. So I'm fine, and my position size isn't huge. So again, that's why we take smaller position sizes. And I like JDSC because it's a little bit of a higher cap stock, and you know, if it moves a little bit more, it doesn't move as aggressively, and that's something that I really do like. Especially if I were a newer trader, I would really like that since it gives me more time to react and more time to plan and more time to make sense of what's going on. I like TNDM and the sell-off that it's having. I think that it could still sell off. And yeah, it looks like it played out exactly like we thought. It tried to recover, could not make higher highs, is now getting rejected, and it could 100% bounce here and then bounce right back up. It could be a quick little day trade, or it could sell right off and come right back down to 30. What was that? What's the lows that it hit yesterday? Yeah, of course, Michael. Appreciate that. $33. Yeah, definitely don't. I mean, it sounds like a good deal right now at around 34.78 because of how it's been holding. But just like it did yesterday, I mean, if it drops down to this specific price point, I don't want to be down 5%. So I think I'm chilling. Yeah, and this is actually something I got. Remember that event that I told you guys that I spoke at a couple days ago? One of the questions that I got, first of all, was really great. There was actually like 3 or 4 of you that I met that actually attended the event. So it was really nice meeting some of you there in person. And one of the things that I was asked was, like how many positions, like the ideal position, the amount of positions that you want to take at one time. Again, I'm not here to tell anyone like how many positions they can manage at one time, right? I solely spoke about how many I feel comfortable trading. I said 2 max. So to answer your question, when it comes down to like, if you're in with a 30K position, would you take another position? First of all, 30K positions are going to be, the largest positions that I take, and it would not make sense for me to, take another position as my capital is, I would be trading based off of leverage, and that's not something that I do. So yes, I would trade with, what my account value is, and that's just it. If I'm trading 2 different positions, then that's probably, I have maybe a $10,000 position somewhere and maybe a $10,000 position somewhere else. But it's usually 2 positions at a time the most. So yes, I could trade, 4 or 5 different stocks throughout the entire day, which I wouldn't recommend for newer traders, but it was not done at the same time. Does that make sense? Like, let's say I day traded TNDM, took my profits, walked away, and now I'm trading, JDST, take my profits or my losses, whatever happens, and then move on to another one, right? I like to be very micro focused, and again, the whole point of becoming micro focused is to identify which stock that you're exposed to and aware of that is the best deal possible, and that's what you should be paying attention to. And you should calculate and break down each and every single stock and be aware of like, okay, well, TNDM offers this margin of profit in comparison to this margin of loss, and it's been this consistent, right? So that's that value that TNDM offers. Now there's JDST that it's been this consistent, offers this amount of margin, and that's what this has to offer, and that's the value for that one. And then I'm like, okay, is TNDM or JDST more attractive for me? I don't like TNDM because first of all, I already locked in profits, and second of all, it's been bleeding every single day, and it struggles to make higher highs. So the risk is too high for me on that one. Remove that one away and then solely focus on JDST, as I personally found that to be a little bit more attractive. I could be completely wrong. TNDM can go to the moon and go to $37 for all I know, right? But based on previous patterns, it's been making lower lows, and during like the 30-minute mark to 1 hour mark after the market opens, it really starts to sell off. So oh wow, C's and Mace. So it says, wow, Ricky, you just had the $1 million idea advice. Buy higher cap stocks so you have more time to react because they don't move as fast. That's something that I've explained before, is it not? First of all, I'm really happy. Okay, so JDST is it selling off? Oh, it's pushing up. Beast. Okay. Wow, it's just like, man, it just sold off. I was feeling so confident on the day, gee willikers. There we go. And what was it that Justin just said? So Justin Burt, what is it that Justin just said? And again, this did not have to happen, right? So /GC, just based on previous patterns, and that's the only way that I was able to identify that. And again, it could still, I mean, it's still above the EMA line. It could still act as a support, but based on previous patterns, it was making and acting as a resistance for the middle VWAP. It was showing signs of a descending pattern, middle and bottom VWAP. How many times have we talked about that, right? So is it like that we're able to tell the future? No. It's we're able to identify a pattern and we trade based off of that. And sometimes we're not 100% correct. Like it could have really pushed up and continued to make higher highs, and I would have had to cut losses on JDST and understand that, right? But right now, thankfully, it's starting to show signs of a sell-off. The MACD is now settling off. The RSI is now pointing down. TNDM now just sold off, just like we expected, touching the bottom VWAP. It's done this every single time, right? So that's why we're extremely patient. Now, even this would make a little bit more sense to buy, but I want to even give it more time to sell off. I want to even build more margin for profit, even if I end up not taking a position, right? But /GC is showing signs of a sell-off. JDST, picked right back up, pulled back a little bit. I'm going to buy a little bit more. So I'm going to buy 100 shares again. Let's check this out. I'm going to click edit, click limit order, and dang it. I'm going to try to beat everybody. 81. There we go. Filled. I don't know, Ricky, I don't know why, but today feels like a good day. Nice job on the stream today. Wow, Ben, every day is a good day. I know that sounds super cliche. There's actually a comment, and I actually kind of want to show you guys the comment. Because I actually found, like, I'm sure the guy said it to be, like, offensive. But one thing that I really like about what he said is, there's always going to be people that try to, like, make you feel bad about what it is that you're doing. But you guys know my thumbnails. I'm always smiling, right? And I don't know if you guys all saw my comment, but it's like, he's like, yo, bro, why why you always smile like a horse in every thumbnail of your videos? And I responded saying, I was like, but I have, because I have nothing not to smile about, right? And then I call them, why are your questions always so passive aggressive? But I truly do like, mean that. I know we're all in different positions, and some of you guys might think that, okay, like, yes, you're happy, but maybe I'm not in a good position in my life right now. And I think we're all in different, and that's why we're here, right? We're here to help one another out, motivate one another, and even share our struggles, right? I've had so many people open up to me about some things that I've never experienced, but for me to be able to give my own 2 cents of just support, that I'm, here for them if they ever need any like any help in any way, then I think that's what it's all about. And for myself, even when I have like a bad day, let's say when it comes down to trading, or if I just have a bad day in general when it comes down to, like, let's say my personal life, right? I think especially for myself, and even before, right? You just want to make sure that you're always thankful for every single day. And this is something that I've like struggled to like admit before, but like make sense of. But there was a series of event that just happened that just like, kind of like slapped me back into place of like how appreciative I have to be of like every single day, right? Because like we don't know which day is our last, or which day is the last for the people that we love, right? Especially like my parents getting a little bit older, and I'm gonna have to make it a habit to visit them more often in California. Just to make sure that I don't, ever regret, working too much and then, never really being a part of, their life and stuff like that. So just a friendly reminder that even at a time where we might feel very unfortunate, I hope that you guys know that you guys could reach out to me, even if it's something that, if you just want to express your feelings and don't even care for a response, just really just want to express it with someone. Hope you guys know that I keep everything confidential. I don't share the messages with anybody, and it really means a lot to me when you guys do open up, as I feel like I actually am building a relationship with the people that I work with every single day. So I think, and again, I'm still trying to figure everything out myself, just like many of you guys. But I think we could all be dingleberries together, and many dingleberries are better than just one. So, yep, that's me. TNDM, that aggressive sell-off, nice little recovery. All right. Ricky being a therapist? No. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on that tangent. I don't know how that got taken, how that started to happen, but yeah, sorry about that. There we go. Actually, it actually bounced. /GC bounce. It's approaching that like middle VWAP. So it's getting very close. But again, JDS2 with that really strong push up. I like it. So I'm just going to have my sell order ready. I'm going to have 100% of my position. So it looks like there's a slight delay. Do you guys see that? 77.94. My TOS is messing up. Oh, sweet. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, look at that delay. Look at the market price on TOS 7794 and look at the ask and the bid. Look at that sell off. Doesn't really make sense if you think about it, right? Getting consolidation around the middle VWAP. What's going on, Adam? So I have ever thought of doing I've definitely wanted to like visit and do meetups and stuff like that. It's just I think like the next times that we do meetups, they're usually very unorganized, and I just don't like to inconvenience people. Like if I can't stay there very long and you guys drive like 30 minutes and an hour to like meet up, it just makes me feel bad that maybe like it was just a waste of time and a waste of gas and money and and all that stuff. So if we ever do host an event, like I don't meet up with anybody in person anymore, just for like my safety and your safety as well. It's just we had a bad experience a couple months back, and just because of that, once we have the TechBot Solutions HQ, it's going to be a much safer place for both parties and stuff like that. So. Yep, I like that, Nick. I agree. Do I think that JDST can hit highs of $80? I don't know. It's been really struggling to. I think it can hit. I mean, 80 is like, yeah, that would make sense. It's been making lower highs, right? So that's something that we want to take into consideration, and keep that close to, that it has been making lower highs. Like, yeah, it has potential to push up, but how much, right? So, yeah. So I just sold my entire position. $58.30 profit. Definitely not what I wanted, but I saw slight hesitation at around $78. So I can miss out on about 10 cents right of margin. What I want to do is I should have waited for a little bit more confirmation. So what I'm doing is I'm locking in profits, or I could have cut losses. That's kind of like irrelevant, right? But you guys saw me, I locked in profits, and I want to get more of a confirmation that /GC is going to get rejected. Right now it's getting too close to it, and it's getting really close to where I think that it can push up, right? It's doing a lot of like consolidation at the resistance and not so much added support for potential reversal. So I'm a little sketched out about that. And because of that, if I don't feel comfortable, then guess what? I lock in profits, and if I see any sign of a resistance or of a reversal and it starts to pick right back up, then guess what? I can get back in. So that's my main focus for the day. Lock in profits and walk away. So here we go. Let's see how natural gas looks like. Where did natural gas go? Keep losing these features. Okay, so it's been making lower lows. That's something that we want to take into consideration, that it's been making lower lows, lower highs, and yes, it can push up. It'll probably get rejected by that middle VWAP. So I'm going to wait for this push up, and as it gets closer, and if it gets rejected, then I'll jump into DGAS, as that's what's bullish on the day. So there we go. Nice, huge push up on TNDM, pushed up another 2.5%. I would lock in profits. Again, it's been making lower highs, so that would make a lot of sense. Are you watching /CL? I was. Looks like all my futures just love to get deleted. Okay, /CL is selling off. So if I'm not mistaken, if that's selling off, what is it? Is it like LAPD? Are these the ones that? No, these are biotech. It's UWT, right? So UWT. Are these crude oil? Right? Which ones are the crude oil ones? So there's like the DWT. So DWT is pushing up. Let me just confirm this. UWT. I can just look at the pattern. So looking at this, no, this would not be /CL. Oh, it is. Okay. So it's DWT. That's bullish on the day, right? Yeah, it's the one that's bullish on the day, but looking at recent patterns on the 5-day, 5-minute chart, it's actually been pretty bullish recently. Had a really green day, or nice little push up. It's been progressively, usually during pre-market hours. That's a little weird. It's pushing up right now. Watch out for this SMA line, as it might act as a resistance. So, might want to look out for that. But okay. So if I click on the like this, and not so much of the when I try to erase it. Yeah, thank you again for that. I get too excited sometimes, and I just stop touching that. Yep, that makes sense. Here we go. Microsoft. I actually like Microsoft. If I'm really struggling to find something that's making higher highs or that's pushing up, I know the margin isn't huge on Microsoft, so maybe it's not worth the trade. But I really like how bullish it is on the day. SQ selling off, perfect. So what I like about this is that I can focus on TQQQ, right? And then I'm gonna bring that on over here. There we go. Setting uptrend pattern. Again, focus on whatever's actively trading up. It's a little bit overextended. I'm gonna wait for a pullback, be patient, be selective, and let's calculate what the margin is. MACD looks to be like a pretty solid indicator. Margin's about 1%. Ask yourself if it's worth it for you. If it's not, then guess what? Best thing is that you don't have to trade what you don't feel comfortable trading. Ooh, look at this sell-off. We did the right thing. Potential reversal of pattern. There we go. I think we played it well today. Maybe my entry point on JDST wasn't the best. Locked in profits right away. Saw signs of a resistance I didn't feel comfortable holding, so I walked away. JDST just broke below $77. CROX showing sign of an uptrend. 5-day, 5-minute chart. How's this looking? Potential reversal. It was previously getting rejected by this. CRX just made higher highs. Okay, it's a little bit overextended, so if it continues to trade in between the middle, so if something is trading between the middle and bottom VWAP, what would make sense? To try to buy as close to the middle VWAP, right? And then make sure that it's pointing up and reversing. So, yeah. Or can anyone tell me why Ricky will not break down AMRN? I love how some people think that I'm completely against them, or whatever it is that they're calling out. Well, first of all, I did not know that this was a pump and dump, but this is a perfect reason of something that I would completely avoid. Very low volume, all of a sudden, huge volume, huge forms of manipulation, super strong push up, and now it's showing signs of a peak formation, of a sell-off, right? It's making lower lows. Would not make sense of why to invest in this. So what I'm going to do here is we're about at that 1 hour mark for the live stream, right? 700 people watched and 32 likes. You guys don't have to like it if you guys don't like the live stream, but yeah. There we go. I'm gonna wait for a pullback. I want to just set all my alerts with you guys, just so you guys know, like, I'm trying to focus on good deals, right? We're here to find good deals, even with TNDM, regardless of how. Man, TOS is just sucking today. There we go. /CL super. Watch out for this potential reversal. So DWT people, watch out for the UWT reversal. UGAS, just like we thought, pushing up again, potentially getting rejected. I don't know why this is the one that I'm watching when it should be DGAS, because DGAS is the one that's bullish on the day, right? So again, it's selling off. It's getting closer near to that middle VWAP. As long as we see a bounce and it starts to recover and /NG gets rejected, that's all that matters. /GC, there we go. Pullback confirmation. If this thing continues, then that's going to be in favor of JNUG. Again, that's why we might want to wait 30 minutes or an hour to identify what direction, what's going to be, headed which way. So, and then CROX, nice little push up. So wait for a sell off here. And guess what? Now, because the change of JDST and the change of direction of /GC, I'm going to remove this and put not JNUG, so JNUG. Sorry. But watch out with this potential resistance there. So when Ricky says you guys don't have to like immediately 100 likes, really? Were that many people like it? I'm flattered. And the thing that cracks me up is that only people that are part of really like Learn Plan Profit get to see this, and by liking it or disliking it, like with normal videos, like yes, with the algorithm, like YouTube will promote it more and stuff like that, but YouTube can't promote an unlisted video, so it's only our people that can see it. So if you guys genuinely like the live stream, hopefully I earned your thumbs up, and hope you know that that's just for me, right? But if you guys don't like it, then feel free to put the thumbs down, but again, no one else can see it, it's just me. So if there's an actual reason that you guys don't like the video, instead of just disliking it, feel free to dislike it, that's fine, but voice it to me. What is it that I could have done better in the live stream? You guys know that I'm always here to try to, if I can provide more value, like why not, right? Just voice it to me. I think that'd be great. Ricky is speaking slowly. Right. Yeah, Sergio, you cracked me up, dude. He says, I wish there was a heart because I love you. Aw. All right, sounds good then. But here we go. Let's see if it starts to make lower lows. We're at that 1 minute mark, 1 hour mark, guys. Gonna have to close out the live stream. Dang, look at Microsoft. Mr. Bill Gates. Trying to make some money. Okay. Ticker symbol, tech studs. Yep. I went to Home Depot because in our office, we're building this like office room, right? Makes sense. And we're building these desks, and we have to find studs. So I had to go find a stud detector. And right when I walked down the aisle, all the stud detectors were going out because obviously, I was walking down the aisle and, you guys get it? No? Okay, I'll stop. I felt so uncomfortable saying that joke. Okay, I'm done. My name is Ricky. I day trade. I'll stick to just that. All right, guys. I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. And I hope you guys have an amazing day. We actually have a really cool video that we're going to be sharing for our later video, not the first video. The first video is just probably going to be a recap on my trades and what I'm focusing on for today. But I feel like we have a pretty decent understanding of what's actively trending up for the day and being patient and focusing on whatever's actively trending up and stuff like that. So I really do appreciate your guys' time. I hope you guys had fun, learned something new on this live stream, and hopefully made some money. And then if there's anything that I can do to better assist you or be a part of your success, feel free to reach out to me, and we'd be more than happy to, help out in any way that we can. So I wish you guys an amazing Tuesday. Keep it simple, have fun, enjoy your day, make someone smile today. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team. Don't walk down Home Depot and go through the stud detectors, especially not with me. It's going to go off the entire time, and they're going to ask you to leave, and it's just not a good experience. Take it easy.